Hi, I'm Gajen and I wanted to make a follow-on video to my MG-TF, and I forgot to mention the aerial had been replaced as well. I used a standard chrome extending aerial. I had to take the old MG-TF plug off the old aerial and solder that onto the new aerial. I also had to take the tube off the bottom of the aerial that they usually fold down into, because there's no space for it to come down. It can only come down a little way, so it can close up but it doesn't go inside the car. So I've got some more ideas for my MG-TF. Some I'm going to do, and some are just pipe dreams. So we've got aircon induction. So that would be retrofitting vintage air conditioning under the bonnet to add some weight in the front, and then taking the airbox air intake pipes from the cabin that gets air conditioning, so you're literally getting air conditioned air fed into the engine, so it'll always be cool. And what's going to happen in the recentness, I'm going to use the two horns that are on the intake pipes that were completely useless where they were, and see if I can jam them into the rubber that goes onto the throttle body, so that it'll be a rubber pipe and then two horns, and that should be quite a nice easy conversion. There's the two different engines I'm considering for more power and speed, which is obviously the 2 litre turbo, but instead of using a low boost turbo, use a high boost turbo. So that would be the T16 engine, 2 litre, and probably something like a T16 turbo, probably with a external wastegate instead of the internal one, because that was problematic on the Volvo T5s. The other engine is a Land Rover Range Rover engine, 3 litre. I think it's about 300 horsepower naturally aspirated, and about 400 horsepower with the turbo. I think that's a straight 4 with or without a turbo, but that's a brand new engine and that's around £6,500, so that won't be happening. And for that I'd have to get a subframe, a gearbox, suspension, brakes, hubs, drive shafts, wishbones, so it can do a complete subframe swap without having to mess around. Got something I will be doing is plans for a gauge cluster fitted to the passenger A-frame pillar, but I was wondering what gauges I could put in there, because there's 3 gauges, and obviously being a non-turbo there's not much need. So you could do oil pressure, because we've only got oil temperature, then there's voltage maybe, but the best one I've spotted was on Skid Factory on the Rolling Road, where they did a head gasket gauge, which sounds a brilliant idea. So what I'm going to plan is the boost gauge from the cheap Chinese gauges, which goes up to about 30 psi, white coloured, so it matches the rest of the gauges, and then use the oil pressure switch that goes into the pipe then, because the boiler fitting ones work with whatever oil, water, any oil, whatever. And hopefully they'll mix and match to create a head gasket gauge, because if there's water, pressure in the water system above normal, your head gasket's going, and that's usually a K-series problem, and I think that'd be quite a cool gauge to make. Now I want to talk about the drivability of the MGTF. I've always had front engine cars, so the first time I got into a mid-engine car, the forces were completely different on the driving position. It feels like you're a foreign object sitting in the car. You know, your body gets moved around, it throws you around. Since I've put the weight in the front end and put the wider tyres on that are stickier, the steering is quite heavy, so you need strong arms, which may not be suited to some drivers. Done the aerial, done the steering, sitting position, yeah. Head gasket gauge, plans for gauge clusters, 2 choices of the engines and the aircon induction, or the fitting the 2 standard horns into the rubber pipe. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'll probably try this video actually in the car. I'm wondering if it matters whether the car is in the video or whether you can just be walking through a field. Right, so please like, comment and subscribe. My name's Garjin, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.